Don't you just love Brugmansias? Those blooms are just so beautiful. Hi, it's Bev from Life's Better in the Garden, and today we're going to be planting some Brugmansias. I have white ones and I have pink ones that we're going to be planting. Now you want to stay with me to the end of the video because I'm going to give you some very unique facts about Brugmansias at the end. So let's get started. Okay, so I have everything laid out here that I'm going to be using. I have my soil here, potting mix, and I have my slow release fertilizer 13-12-12, and then I'm using a bone meal CIL, and I have my potting mix already in here, and it's already pre-moistened before I put them in the pots. Okay, I have my white ones laid out here, and as you can see, they've got quite the root base on them, and now I'm just going to carefully pull these apart. Try not to put the roots in too much shock. Okay, so these have been growing since the fall, where I cut them and put them in water. So now we're going to put them in pots, and just very gently, some of these really fine roots get wrapped around each other, and then even the leaves can get attached. Okay, so you can see they've got a really good root base on them. So we're all laid out here. So now we're just going to get them into some pots. So I've got some different size pots. As I go, I'll decide which size pot I want to use. But I just wanted to show you one thing when you're potting these. So I'm going to use this one as an example. The white part here has no roots on it. They start here. So I'm going to be cutting this off because this is sort of absorbed a lot of water and it's going to be mushy. So I'm just going to cut it off here, and then that way I can use a smaller pot and all of these roots will then be covered. So as I get potting these, and I'm going to be working more with the leaves, and I'm going to be cutting them and snipping them back, I am going to be putting on my garden gloves. Now, one thing about these Brugmansias, they're gorgeous, beautiful plants to have in the garden, but they are toxic. All parts of the plants are toxic. So just to be on the safe side, when you're handling them, it's best to wear gloves. And as you can see, I've already been working with these gloves, so they're well used. Now, previously, when I was showing you the roots, I didn't wear the gloves as I was pulling them apart because you want to be very gentle with the roots, and with the gloves on, you could pull the roots or hurt them and not really feel it as you would with just your bare fingers. So now for the remainder of this, I'm going to be using the gloves. And let's start with this one here that I showed you. Now I have clippers here, so I am just going to cut this off here. So, and I sort of do it on an angle. I don't think it has to be. And as you can see, it's probably just a piece that's just slowly dying because it has been rooted for quite a while. So then there we have and it's a little bit shorter now. And I'm also going to be cutting off all of this foliage, as once they're in the pots, they're going to grow new foliage. And this has grown since the fall. As the energy is now going to be going to the root, you don't want to have to worry about this foliage. You want it to push out new foliage. So in about 4 or 5 weeks from now, there's going to be all kinds of lush green foliage, where this isn't quite as green anymore, or I should say it's not as green as it should be because it's just been sitting in water. So it's not the same as being actually potted into a pot. So I think I will use this one. I'll just, yeah, that should be good. So I'm just going to put a little more soil in here, and then I'm just grabbing just a small handful of bone meal that I'm going to put in, and again, just a small little handful of the slow release, and then I'll just mix it all around in here. So, because you want that to be giving energy and food to the roots. So now I'm just sort of taking the dirt, just bringing it up the sides of the pot there. And then I'm going to put this in. And now I'm just curling the roots around the plant. I'm not just setting it on so it's all squished. I'm sort of just wrapping it around the plant. And then I'm just going to add more soil here. Here now. So now I am just going to snip. Okay, just like so. And then as you can see right here, there's little nodes here, especially where I cut off, plus there's other nodes. And there's a node here and then down here on the side. So that is, their leaves are actually going to come out of them, and it's just going to come out with leaves, and actually stalks are going to grow with nice lush green growth plus flowers. In my experience with these, I've had them flower in the first year. Now it could be towards the end of the year, but then again, it depends on if you have them in full sun or part sun. So now these do like full sun, but they require lots of water if it's in full sun, especially in the heat of the afternoon. Now, one thing that I didn't mention was you need a tag. Now, I have my tags over here. These are all my white ones, so I've already got them all made up. It has quite the root base on it. And again, I'm just mixing all the bone meal and the slow release fertilizer. And again, I'm just bringing the dirt, pulling the dirt up the sides to make a well in the pot. And then I'm just gonna, this big root base in here, just get it to sort of nicely wrap around the pot. Work it in the soil. And with this one, with it having a V, I have the soil just up to the V. As you can see, I've just pushed the soil away from the V. Okay? And even if you have just like a little bit of foliage here, I would cut that off. Even this little one here, I'm going to cut off. Because you want it to push out all new growth on the plant once it's established in here and it starts to grow. Everything will be all new. Okay, so there is all the white planted. Okay, so I've got the pinks all laid out here. Grab a smaller pot here, take this one. And now this one here has got quite a bit of dead stalk on the top. I wouldn't worry about that. I'm just going to cut it off as well as this little growth and plant it, and we should be good. And again, this one, I'm going to be cutting this off as well. And I've got my soil all filled up here, and it's all pre-moistened. And this is just a little baby one. Okay, our last one here. So I'm going to cut this off here before we start. And look at the root growth on that. Just gorgeous root growth. Not sure if this one will be big enough for it. Yeah, I think that will work. I may just cut a couple of these off the top here. Maybe that one there. Just cut those ones off the top there. And now the soil can go down below because it's really good root base at the very bottom here. So I have welded up around the sides. I'm going to put this in here and just sort of encourage the root to go around the pot. Okay, and there's our last pink one planted. Cut these off. And then I may cut a little bit of this off because it's dead there. Okay, so there's our last pink one done. Here's a few of the pink and white ones that I have in front of my living room window, and we'll see how they do. So here is the rest of them. And they are down under my grow lights. So we'll see the difference of the ones in the window My living room window faces west, so they'll get the afternoon sun, versus these guys are going to be under the grow lights all day. And then as you see in the back here, I have 4 dahlias that have sprouted. From my previous video I did, which I will link below. Okay, so today is March 30th. So that's the day that I planted these Brugs. So by the end of April, we should see some really good growth on these Brugmansias. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next video coming out as I'm following their growth. Now, I had said earlier that I was going to give you some unique facts about Brugmansia. So here we go. They are a tropical, so they're very sensitive to cold temperatures. So you don't want to put them out in the garden until all chance of frost is gone. Now, if you put them in a pot and you can bring it into your garage or your port so that the frost can't get them, then that's fine. Now, Brugmansias are also known for their rapid growth. They can grow 2+ feet in a single year. And Brugmansias come in various colors, white, pink, which I planted, yellow and orange, and they're trumpet-shaped blooms. They can grow to 20 inches. They're huge. Now, one of the most unique things that I think about these Brugmansias is they have fascinating pollination mechanisms. They bloom at night, which is uncommon for many plants, and the flowers release a strong, sweet scent. It's just so enchanting in the evening. And this attracts specific moth species. And these moths are the main pollinators for the Brugmansias. And they have long tongues that can reach the nectar deep inside the trumpet-shaped flowers. And as the moths feed on this nectar, they pick up the pollen on their bodies. Then they take this pollen to other Brugmansia flowers and help the plants reproduce. And this night blooming strategy helps the Brugmansia avoid competition with daytime pollinators. So it's a clever adaptation that just ensures successful pollination of the Brugmansia. And also something unique and interesting is the Brugmansia and Datura are often mistaken for the same flower because of their similar appearance. Both of the flowers have trumpet-shaped flowers and belong to the nightshade family, but the Brugmansia flowers point downwards and they just sort of hang from the bush or the tree, sort of haunting the way that they hang. And Daturas are smaller and they face upward. so very, very neat. There's some very unique facts on the Brugmansias. I hope you enjoyed watching these beauties get planted. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more gardening tips. See you next time.